Hey everyone, this is June from Turning Point Life Investment, and this is your weekend analysis for the week ending September 12th, 2009. Let's start with the SPY 3-year weekly view. The bulls continue to buy, dip buyers continue to buy the dips. The market decidedly went higher today. I mentioned from my previous videos that most likely we will probably get a retest of this gap right here made back in October. Let me zoom in. So that's around 105, which we hit on Friday, and the upper gap is around 107. So if the market has any more bullish push to go, then most likely 107 could be retested just to close this gap right here. You see how this week we produced a white candlestick, which pretty much negated any reversal potentials of these doji candlesticks that were produced 2 weeks ago. So these are seen merely as just a consolidation week as opposed to potential reversals. Volume continues to be the same story. There's not a whole lot of participation going on, even though, yes, it is summer. Summer is unofficially over, so we should be seeing some pickup or some spikes in volume relatively soon. Oversold, or overbought, I should say, stochastic is on a weekly basis, so that's pretty significant. And as well as the MACD is showing some divergence, which is telling us that the market is showing weakness currently because of this leg up. It's not as strong as it once were. All right, next we go into a 6-month daily view. We have pretty much 5 straight consecutive days of buying, which is pretty strong, but then again, nothing really goes up or down forever. So I would expect some kind of correction, whether it's a pullback or at least a sideways correction, to occur sometime next week. And I believe we more or less started that on Friday. You can see how on Friday we had this doji, not a doji, but at least a spinning top type of candlestick where we have a really small body. Usually that indicates a lack of indecision or showing signs of indecision between the buyers and the sellers. So that could potentially be a top for now for this rally. So all we really can do is just watch for the levels. If the market decides to go higher next week, as I mentioned, 107 is the level to look for. Now, as far as if the market does pull back, I would look for these levels as far as potential pullback levels. For example, 103 seems to be a pretty good support right here, as well as this gap that was produced earlier this week, somewhere between 102.50 and 102. So you can see we have a pretty strong zone of support right there. So if there's any type of pullback, I would say somewhere around back here. Now, as long as that level holds, then that would be a good buying opportunity because, well, we notice here that buyers continue to buy the dip. So we will continue to follow that as long as that holds true. So again, if the market does pull back to this level, I'll be watching that. And as long as it holds and as long as that it shows that buyers are starting to step in again around this level, then I will be a buyer as well. However, if the market just punches through these support levels, then that will make me think otherwise. All right, next we're going into the VIX. The VIX pretty much got slaughtered this week and some of it last week. You can see how we actually managed to break through this previous support level around 24. So that was pretty critical. Now we're back here retesting this previous low of the VIX, somewhere around 23. So on Friday we produced a hammer, actually Thursday and Friday produced a hammer type of looking candlestick. And that's usually a good sign of a potential bullish reversal right here. So if we were to look at this as a regular stock, then there's a very good chance that this stock has put in a bottom, especially since it's retesting a prior support, and most likely it will bounce higher from that point on. All we really need to see is some kind of confirmation on Monday for the VIX to close above Friday's high. If that is the case, then that will probably tell us that there's some kind of decline or some kind of correction occurring, because as you know, when the VIX goes up, the market usually goes down. So just basing on the VIX alone, I can see, or I would guess that we will probably get a bounce in the VIX, which will lead me to think that we'll probably get some type of correction next week to correct that 5-day rally. So if that is the case, going back to the charts, I would look for support somewhere around the 102, between 102 and 103. I would look for support between that area, and if it holds, then I'll start picking up. I will be a buyer again in this market.